The universe has no reason to exist, and it definitely has no reason to produce you. For life to exist, dozens of fundamental constants, numbers baked into the laws of physics, have to be tuned to almost impossible precision. Change any one of them by a tiny fraction, and there are no stars, no planets, no atoms, no anything. Scientists call this fine-tuning, and it's one of the strangest facts about reality, because nobody set those numbers. They just are. Exactly right. Let's start with gravity. Gravity is extraordinarily weak compared to the other forces of nature. If it were even slightly stronger, stars would burn out in thousands of years instead of billions, not long enough for life to evolve. Slightly weaker, and stars never ignite at all. Then there's the strong nuclear force, the force that holds atoms together. If it were 2% stronger, hydrogen wouldn't exist. No hydrogen means no water. No water means no life as we know it. If it were slightly weaker, atoms wouldn't form at all. And the cosmological constant, the energy density of empty space, is fine-tuned to 1 part in 10 to the power of 120. That's a decimal point followed by 119 zeros before you hit the relevant digit. Physicists call it the worst prediction in the history of science, because we have no explanation for why it is what it is. At this point, you might be thinking, maybe we're just getting lucky. But consider the scale of the problem. It's not one number that needs to be right. It's dozens, independently. The probability of all of them landing in the life-permitting range by pure chance is, by most estimates, so small that it's meaningless to write it out. Physicist Fred Hoyle, who discovered how carbon forms inside stars, was so disturbed by what he found that he said it looked like a put-up job. He wasn't religious. He was just doing the math. Roger Penrose, one of the greatest living physicists, calculated the odds of our universe's initial conditions arising by chance. His number, 1 in 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 123. That number is so large it couldn't be written out, even if every atom in the universe were a zero. Scientists and philosophers have 3 main responses to this problem. The first, it was designed. Some intelligence set the dials. This is the argument from fine-tuning for the existence of God, and it's taken seriously by serious philosophers, not just theologians. It doesn't prove anything, but it's not stupid. The second, the multiverse. If there are an infinite number of universes, each with different constants, then, of course, some of them will be compatible with life, and we happen to be in one. We couldn't observe a universe that killed us before we could observe it. This is called the anthropic principle, and it's logically sound. The problem is we have no evidence for other universes. It explains the fine-tuning by assuming something even harder to verify. The third explanation, we don't understand the physics yet. Maybe the constants aren't free parameters at all. Maybe a deeper theory will show they couldn't have been any other value. Some physicists hold out for this. So far, no one has found it. None of the 3 explanations is satisfying. That's what makes this one of the most serious open questions in science. Here's what's easy to miss in all of this. Fine-tuning doesn't just mean life is possible. It means complexity is possible. Stars, chemistry, planets, evolution, consciousness, all of it hangs on constants that had no reason to cooperate. The physicist Paul Davies put it simply, the universe looks as if it knew we were coming. That doesn't mean it did. Science doesn't deal in purposes. But it does mean that the universe we live in is, by any reasonable measure, extraordinarily improbable. And that improbability is real, whether you're religious or not, whether you believe in the multiverse or not. The numbers are just what they are. We don't know why the universe is the way it is. We don't know if it was designed, if it's one of infinite accidents, or if the constants were always locked in place by laws we haven't discovered yet. What we do know is this. The universe didn't have to work. It had every reason not to. And yet, here you are, watching this, made of atoms forged in stars, in a cosmos that by all rights should have been dark and empty. Whatever the explanation, that's worth thinking about.